Okay, Mr. Phobes here. um, as you can see, I've been, um, playing around with these colors and blending them and making my palettes, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I've gone down to already started my second one, and what I did was when I created this, it was a um, split complement of yellow and then violet and cyan blue. Now, when I made this, I started out with the primaries or prismatics, and I kept a group called Palette Study 2 Prismatics. Um, I was able to select that and then export it to the libraries as a group. You can only export 1 to 5 colors as a group. After that, if I selected all these, I can't do that. There's another way to do these, which is you just select every single one, use the shift key, and then you export it, and it just comes in as a bunch of colors. And then there's another way to make a group, and I'm going to show you how to do that. The point of doing this is that when you get ready to do your final project, if you've saved all these colors in your libraries, you don't have to go through all this again. And then you've got your palette, you're ready to go. You just got to kind of keep straight which ones overlap. So one thing I would suggest is once you get all these studies done, let's export them as JPEGs, and we have them as a record. Okay, so how are we going to color these? So again, one of the objectives is that you have 3 colors, 3 shapes that overlap. Uh, one shape or color has to be at about 10% in terms of its lightness. One has to be about 50, and one has to be at about 90. So again, I would look at the 3 colors and I kind of determine what's the lightest, what seems mid value, and what is the darkest. And one easy way to do that is select the hues like this, and then go to edit colors, and then convert to grayscale. All right. Now, if you select it, the grayscale comes up and it tells you, okay, that one's at about 13%. This one is at 26, and this one is at 41. So the whole thing is way too light. If I select it all again and hit Command Z, it comes back. Okay, so to get this lighter, we're going to have to add a little white. And the way you do that, grab one of the sliders, like this is one, grab the slider here, and then hit the shift key and just drag, and it starts adding white to it. All right. Now this needs to be darker, so we're gonna just add a little bit of black to it, and then this even needs to be darker, and we're gonna add some black to it. Okay. Now let's do the value check. Okay. So that's a little too light, but that's about right. That's 50, and that's 72. This could be a little bit darker. So I'm going to select it, hit Command Z, and I'm going to go back. So really, um, should really make this more like that. And I'm going to add a little bit more black to this. I don't want to add too much. There we go. Okay, so that just eyeball it. You can check it with the numbers. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to blend these. Um, so I'm going to select one of the prismatics. I'm going to hit the shift key, select the one in between, and select the other prismatic, and then I'm going to go edit colors. I'm going to go blend vertically, and what it does is it makes a median color between the two. I'm going to select the prismatic again, hit shift, and then I'm going to go edit colors, and this time I'm going to go blend horizontally because it's going across. And edit colors, blend vertically. All right, they're still pretty close together. Now I want to blend any of these two together. So I think I'm probably going to get the biggest difference between here and here. So I'm going to select these, and I'm going kind of close together. I might want to add a little bit more black in this, and then I could, recolor it. But let's say that's it. Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to create a new color group, and I'm going to call this analogous to. Okay, there it is right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to go through this process, and I'm going to drag these down into the color group. I'm going to select each one. So I'm probably going to disappear here while I'm doing all of this. Okay, there we go. So now I have all these analogous hues here. So I'm going to select, so rather than selecting the folder and try the whole, because this will export it as a color group, which it won't because it's got too many colors. And I'm going to select each one. So I'm going to hit the shift key. And then I'm going to go to the little library thing, and I'm going to, okay, and you can see what it does is it populates it, and it's into what is called ungrouped. So now I'm going to select each one again using the shift key. Now if I hold down the control key on the Mac, click, go add selected items to create new group, and then I'm going to call this new group, I'm going to call it analogous to. All right. So you can see I'm starting to populate all my color groups that way. These were exported as these prismatics. I'm just keeping them in here to keep track of that. Okay. So once we get these done, then what we can do, let's say we have them done, save them in your libraries. Now the problem is if you're not using the same computer, it's not going to save to your library. There is a way to share this, but another way to do it, and I would do this, is let's go to the artboard, and we're going to save these, and we're going to go File, Export, and we're just going to export them as JPEGs. And then use artboard. So I only have two. I'm going to use range. I'm going to go 1 through 2, and I'm going to go export. And I'm going to export them as CMYK because I want to use them in my color study. So I don't want to convert them to RGB yet, and screen is fine. So they're going to export to the desktop, and then I'll hit OK. Okay, so that's it. After you get these color studies done, I'll show you how we're going to use them in the actual artwork. That's it.